Western United take a home game east in search of their first win of the season as they face Melbourne City. Good evening and welcome to Amy Park on the lands of the Wurundjeri people as round 3 of the A-League Men's comes to its conclusion. And while this local rivalry between Melbourne's East and West may still be in its early days, it's a clash which brings warm memories for Western United fans thinking back to that 2022 Grand Final when they upstaged City to win their first A-League Men's Championship. But just over 2 years on, and this season presents a pivot point for both clubs. Western have struggled since they lifted silverware, while City's derby defeat brought with it many questions about where they are at since the departure of Paddy Kisnorbo. Tonight, a chance to steady and point in the right direction. So will it be the west or east of Melbourne who head north up the table tonight? There's one change for John Aloisi's side after their 1-1 draw with Western Sydney last week. So Reece Bosanowski comes in for his first start since December 2022, replacing Seb Pasquale. Noah Botic remains on the bench as he builds back from a foot stress fracture, while captain Ben Garuccio is still sidelined with a groin injury. James Donachie and Rami Nazarene also sidelined. Hiroshi Ibasuki scored his first goal in green and black last week in the clash against Western Sydney. No doubt he'll be looking for more goals for his second A-League club. He began his career, of course, in the red of Adelaide United. City was slayed in the first half last week against Melbourne. Victory, and tonight Aurelio Vidmar looks for a response. So Ferreira is benched, Bajic suspended, Cohen ill this week, so he drops to the pine. So in comes Kuhn Schreiber for their first A-League starts, while Politidis is in at left back. Socceroo Matt Leckie could play his first minutes of the season after overcoming a quad injury. And as I just mentioned, the Austrian Andreas Kuhn, his first start in the A-League. So Melbourne City's 400th A-League men's match is underway against Western United, who chased their first win of the season. And it's a very good evening to Phil Moss and Mossy. It might be only round 3, but it's a match which is coming at a crucial time for both of these teams.
Certainly is. Good evening to you too, Benny. Great to be alongside you, and yeah, so much importance in these 3 points. I know it's early in the season, but how Melbourne City bounced back from that derby defeat, and the manner in which they lost that first half last week is absolutely critical, of course. And Western United, as you said, chasing their first 3 points. Statistically, they haven't been too bad in the first 2 games, Western United, so they'll be, I think, reasonably confident of breaking through for that first 3-pointer tonight.
2 1-all draws to begin the season, but confidence they can take out of that. As you said, Mossy, both matches they came from behind to nab a point against Wellington in the opening round, where Thurgate scored the equaliser, and then Ibasuki last week at home at Ironbark Fields. Suprayon towards Kuhn. One of those players that Aurelio Vidmar threw on in the second half last week, Andreas Kuhn with Zane Schreiber. So no surprises that those two into the starting 11 this week. Mossy, they were vastly improved in the second half, but the problem was they were 3-0 down by that point, and that was the concern for Aurelio Vidmar.
Yeah, that's right. And to the naked eye from the outside looking in, the 2 positives out of last week were the reaction after half-time from Melbourne City to what Aurelio said at half-time, and also the fact that Andrew Naboot was the goal scorer. You always want your front men scoring goals, so that would have given him confidence after Tilio scored in that round 1 win over Newcastle.
99th A-League men's match for Aurelio Vidmar as head coach. He has coached Adelaide to the 2009 grand final, which they lost 1-0 to Victory, and the 2008 Champions League final, which they lost over 2 legs to Gamba Osaka. Here's an important win for Western United. Real chance for Ibasuki. Space in front of him, but just dallied on the ball, and that allowed Kuhn to come back and pinch possession.
He did. He just took far too long on the ball. Ibasuki, I'm sure, in his deepest, darkest thoughts, he would never have thought he had too much time just outside the Melbourne City penalty box. Kuhn doing a really good job tracking back, getting the ball back to his side.
Finding Russell. Pressure coming from Melbourne City. Now Danzaki. And Russell's pass won by Ugarkovic. Kuhn with the attempted backheel flick, but that is a bright moment for Melbourne City. They applied some good pressure there to Western and almost got a result.
Yeah, there's good energy about the opening few minutes. Western United certainly pressing high. Melbourne City looking like they've got energy in the legs on the ball.
If you're not a racing fan, horse racing that is, probably wondering why this is being played on a Monday night. Well, that's of course because it's Cup Eve, so public holiday for Victorians tomorrow. Politidis flipping it towards the middle, and MI away. Beach start in round 1 for City, the goalkeeper. And last week brought back to earth with that really disappointing goal he conceded under pressure of Teague. Now it's Sutton put under pressure. And Western United have to get it away from danger. They haven't done so here. Schreiber and Atkinson. Switching it back out to Marco Tilio. And Charmoon nailed his assignment there, but the flag came up regardless.
Interesting to see that Vidi has deployed Atkinson at left fullback this week in the absence of Aziz Bayic, as we just see. Gee whiz.
Tight, isn't it?
I'm not sure that was offside. If that had ended up in the back of the net, I think VAR would have overruled that offside. But Atkinson deployed at left fullback with Harry Politidis, a more advanced role on the left-hand side. Obviously, a loss as is Baich, the captain, out for 2 games.
Well, intriguing to note, last week, Aurelio Vidmar started Kai Truan alongside Atkinson in the midfield. So Atkinson back to a more traditional role for him. And then Kai Truan, same deal for him, back into the centre-back position where he was in the second half last week, where he's been so often deployed in the A-League at Brisbane Roar. Marco Tilio doesn't earn a free kick here. Maybe tried to look for it too much. He certainly looked to have Shamoon's cover. And he was just able to block him off. On with the header away. He'd looked to be beating Shamoon. All ends up down that edge and maybe just looking for the contact. Marco Tilio, and referee waved his appeals away. Reece Bozanowski's first A-League men's start since December 2022, made a couple of starts that season. Comes back in for Seb Pasquale for Western United tonight. Seb, of course, had that horror injury spell with the hip problem where he played 21 matches over the course of 4 seasons. So you can understand why Western don't want him playing too many matches in the starting side week in, week out. Patrick Beach urging Supre on forward here, wants the speed. That was probably what was lacking in the first half last week, Mossy, just the way they laboured in possession.
Yeah, well, you could see Supre and then run the ball into the space vacated by Nathaniel Atkinson, who played in that inverted role as a fullback. Opened the space for the big centre-back to carry the ball forward. It really paid off, but for a very good challenge by Reece Bozanowski. The ball and all tackled from the midfielder.
Atkinson, little stumble, but he was able to right himself. Schreiber and Naboot. Here's Ugarkovic and Tilio. Promising signs for City. And Talbot's delivery, and it just skipped off the turf and a little too high for Andreas Kuhn.
He was well positioned there, Kern, and that was a very good delivery from Talbot. As the ball goes wide to Tilio, he squared up and then just lays the ball back to Talbot. And look at this. Really good whip and bend and pace on that ball into a teasing area. Nothing to apologise for there, Talbot. Great delivery.
Dylan Leonard's delivery over the sideline in front of Laval. Just wondering whether those socks are high enough, Mossy. Would that satisfy Ali Reza Fagani, or would he be asking him to pull his socks up again like last week?
Depends if he's in a consistent frame of mind or not, Benny. I must admit, I did get a little chuckle out of that.
It certainly makes it easier for a commentator when someone's socks are down. Another characteristic you can use to differentiate is Tilio. And Kuhn let it run on for Ugarkovic. Now Politidis. The overlap of Atkinson, but looked inside and came off a leg of Danzaki straight to Sutton.
I think the reaction from Nathaniel said it all. He was expecting the ball to be delivered. As you see, Tilio central to everything again. But Melbourne City are doing well here. And there's the run from Atkinson. Probably wasn't the wrong decision. He just laboured on it a little bit too long, Politidis.
Or was it an option that was maybe a little too cute when he had the obvious Atkinson on the outside, Mossy?
Well, you could argue both ways. I think Atkinson was well covered. I'd take Russell.
But regardless of that, first 10 minutes, Melbourne City, they're looking good here. They are just shading this match so far, creating some half chances. You can see possession being dominated by the visiting side in this one. Diving in there, trying to win it back. Great scrap from Tilio, but it's now with Grimaldi. And Imai, who gives it away. Naboot looking to turn, and Leonard leaves it away for Western United, but it's coming back here via Ugarkovic and Kuhn. Atkinson. That's a great win from Danzaki. One-on-one. Thieves it off. Atkinson, who then says, well, whatever you can do, I can do better.
They both just showed a little bit too much of the ball to each other, didn't they? A little one-on-one exchange there between Danzaki and Nathaniel Atkinson. It's going to be a great little battle as the game progresses.
It's a little bit awkward for Imai there. Did soften his fall. Western United's captain tonight, vice-captain for the season, with Ben Garuccio still missing with that groin injury. Really frustrating for Garuccio, named captain, and then you can't start the season after a pre-season problem. Laval. Ibasuki's pass just didn't quite have the power behind it to link with his compatriot, Danzaki.
And a critical intervention from Atkinson. He read that well. I think his reading of the play and a little bit of lack of pace on the delivery of the ball, as you call it, really helped Atkinson thwart the danger. I think if you look at the first 12 and a half or so minutes, Vidmar would be pretty pleased with what he's seen so far as a reaction from last week goes. They certainly look more in the zone to what they did this time last week, although it's a low bar.
It's too slow.
That sounded like a really Vidmar Mossy, so maybe he thinks that there's still a couple more levels they can go through with their speed of play. And I think the frustrating thing for him as well was it was a derby. And he said that in the press conference. If you're not going to get up for a derby, then what are you going to get up for?
Yeah, 100%. I think they looked, I don't know, intimidated to some degree, because Melbourne Victory just simply blew them off the park. Although they squared the ledger statistically over the case of the 90 minutes, they certainly didn't win the stat that mattered most. Well, the two stats, effort and the scoreboard.
Shamoon, that was neat. Grimaldi ran to a cul-de-sac. Gets himself out of it by linking with Leonard. And now Thurgate buzzing around as he often does in midfield. And important intervention in the air by Kai Truan to win it back for City. Politidis can string this pass out to Kuhn. And Kuhn able to find Politidis with the return pass. Now Atkinson. So from a spot of bother defensively, Melbourne City have turned that into a place of comfort. Can they turn it into an opportunity? No, they can't. Ibasuki and Grimaldi will track this one down. And one back by Truan.
Well, they're the little moments. Grimaldi's first touch let him down there. He just took his eye off the ball. They had great momentum going forward, Melbourne City. They're the moments that will frustrate Aurelio Vidmar, because you can see the difference there between an attack that was really building some promise, one that just lost all its momentum. Of course, I'm talking about Western United and John Aloisi, not Melbourne City.
Atkinson, and he's threaded the eye of the needle, and Andrew Naboot almost completed it. that would have been quite a miraculous goal for Melbourne City.
We may well have just been offside, but it would have been ruled back onside because I think West United played it there, and there's a touch from Imai. That is brilliant instincts from Andrew Naboot and almost just as brilliant execution.
Free kick here for Melbourne City. That was a near miss for Western United. And, oh, this is a concern. So Imai is split, and that's not an area you want to get a cut, is it, Mossy? Up around the eye.
No, there's plenty of blood that'll come out of that. It just catches the back of Nathaniel Atkinson's head. You can see there, I think Atkinson will definitely come out of that.
Now, there is a bit of blood there. I just wonder whether that's Imai's blood or whether it is Atkinson's, because if he's got a cut on the back of his head, that's not great either. Oh, there is.
Yep. They both spilled some claret for their side.
Gee. So John Aloisi just with a chance to have a chat to his side. Through the start to this game have probably been just slightly second best, would you say, Mossy? Yeah,
I think Melbourne City probably have had a bit more energy on the ball and been able to keep the ball for sustained periods. Although apart from the Naboot half chance, haven't really had much to show for it in front of goal. And we see that clash again, and go back to the old school of hard knocks. I'd rather have a cut in the back of my head than in the corner of my eye. Can deal with that better, whereas it could well, depending on what the medical staff do for Ibasuki, could impact his vision.
Especially as a striker as well. Vision's important for every player, but especially as a striker, especially with those glancing headers that Ibasuki is known for. So he's going to get that taped up. How often did you get taped up like this?
Prided myself on making sure my opponents were the ones getting taped up, Benny.
Here's that chance. Atkinson all the way through to Naboot. The dexterity and technique of Andrew Naboot there. Absolutely top draw.
The awareness, the touch. All he needed to do was drag that across his body into the far bottom corner. Would have been in the back of the net. That's easy to say from the comfort of the commentary box.
Important to note, the man that made that save, Matt Sutton, has usurped Tom Hewitt-Bell as the first choice at Western United. Coming up against his old side, he actually made his A-League men's debut with Melbourne City back in May 2021. So Nathaniel Atkinson coming from the field. High five between both players. No hard feelings. Just an unfortunate footballing accident. So Ibasuki back on. Atkinson still getting taped up. So City down to 10 for the moment. And Atkinson looks set to return to the action now. Leonard searches for Laval. So this is the 18th meeting between these two clubs. Melbourne City leading it 10-5. I should say 17th meeting, 10-5 with one draw. And here at Amy Park, City leading it 7-5. But from a Western United perspective, they'll say they won the match that mattered back in 2022 on the final day of the season. That 2-0 grand final win.
Yeah, fantastic moment for such a young club as well.
And Mossy, we were discussing this pre-game. The players in this Western United squad, how many of them were part of that championship winning side back in 2022? Only just over 2 years ago.
Well, I'll take a wild guess and just say one.
There's only one. Tomoki Imai. He's the only man. Garuccio, of course, injured at the moment. But in this squad here tonight, just Tomoki Imai. It has been quite a dramatic change in personnel over 2.5 years for Western United and John Aloisi.
He's been a wonderful addition for Western United and to the A-League. Tanaki Mai, obviously playing more as a central defender these days. We've seen him play as a right back as well.
Ugarkovic. Russell almost getting a toe in, but it's Atkinson who won it. And then a slip from Kern at the key moment.
Yeah, he just couldn't sort his feet out quick enough, could he, Kern? They're looking like they're threatening Melbourne City when they go forward at pace, particularly in the transition moments. Just missing that final pass.
Thurgate, Ibasuki and Lavar couldn't connect with Grimaldi.
Final passes. Like it's an impediment at both ends of the pitch at the moment.
Well, it's no surprises. You've got two sides just lacking a little bit of confidence. I know it's only round 3, but both from an attacking perspective and somewhat stymied this season. 2 goals each across the opening 2 matches of the campaign. Now Talbot a chance to stretch his legs. Links with Tilio. Good dip on this. Politidis into the base of the post. He's asking for a corner. Did it come off a Western United player there on the way to the post?
We'll see on the replay. Talbot driving at the Western United defence. Tilio with some wonderful delivery. I think Politidis has gone for goal there. I think probably the better option is to cut it back because all goalkeepers will have that near post covered. He is close. If you're going to go for a goal from that distance, you have to score. 2 or 3 willing runners central in that 6-yard box waiting for the delivery.
Yet to score in his A-League men's career. Beach under pressure. And the Western United fans certainly making plenty of noise when he's on the ball. They remember what happened last week in the Melbourne derby. And Patrick Beach does not want to have history repeat because he's got Jamie Young sitting on the bench. Vastly experienced goalkeeper.
Well, it is horrible, isn't it, for any goalkeeper. As we just see Beach's touch there. He's dragged the ball across his body. A little bit nervous, but it's horrible for any goalkeeper, let alone a young one, to make a big mistake on a big stage. See how they bounce back, and I must say, it's good. It's great to see Rilio Vidmar and the staff back young Beach.
Looking to play it out again here, Melbourne City. They break through the press here of Western United. Schreiber. Ugarkovic. He did it well initially, but then his former Jets teammate Angus Thurgate came across. Ensures Western United will earn themselves a throw. Atkinson and Politidis, and at left back for as is Bajic. So if he performs well today, you'd expect he'll have that spot as well next week against Perth Glory. Bajic suspended for 2 matches, despite not being sent off last week in the derby. Schreiber has it pinched by Bozanowski. He will be fortunate here not to go into the book. Will it just be a warning here from Ben Abraham? It was a little bit cynical.
It certainly was, but that's really good strength from Bozanowski. Look at that, the determination to protect the ball once he'd won it. It has been a feature of these early rounds, Benny. Referees tending to be much more lenient.
Ugarkovic thought he was playing a different sport there.
Thurgate just drops a hip into Ugarkovic, his former Newcastle teammate. It can be quite dangerous. Player airborne comes down from that angle.
Ugarkovic can't get on the end of it. She's getting the game's up, isn't he, Steve Ugarkovic? 224th A-League men's match tonight. Such a regular figure at the Newcastle Jets. Then he's been through Western Sydney, Wellington, and now Melbourne City.
Yeah, and he's one of those midfielders who just gets through so much work. You know, he can play as a 6, he can play as an 8. He can drop into defence and do a job there if need be.
He's the ultimate professional, isn't he, Ugarkovic? So consistent week in, week out. Grimaldi and Laval. Melbourne City are going to earn the whistle here as Talbot hits the deck.
Again, it comes down to a poor touch from Grimaldi. He's got to get the ball under control better than that. He's turned that into a touch tackle situation.
Truant. The crossfield ball looking for Politidis, but it's been cut out, and now Danzaki did find Bozanovsky, and now Russell through Ibasuki. Truant back on it for City. Both sides really struggling for that fluency with that final pass at the moment. Andrew Naboot, Harry Politidis with the 2 best chances of the game so far. Those are those 2 shots at goal. Outside of that, very little to speak of in terms of attacking opportunities. Kuhn able to shoulder himself away from Danzaki, and then couldn't link inboard with either Ugarkovic or Naboot. Politidis, Atkinson, very deep to Tilio on the first touch, too heavy.
Well, I have to say, Zane Schreiber's done some really tidy things in midfield for Melbourne City so far in this game. That last attack was set up by some really nifty footwork in a very tight area. A little bit earlier, he put in a great tackle to win the ball for his side and set his team off on attack again. Good early signs.
He's just come back from time with the young Socceroos in that under-20 Asian Cup qualifiers. They did qualify for that tournament, young Socceroos, which is going to take place in China in February next year. So a big opportunity there for the young Socceroos to try and make the FIFA Under-20 World Cup. We always know if one of our youth national teams can get to a World Cup, what an impact it can have down the line. You've only got to look at the likes of Noah Botic, who's on the bench for Western tonight, who scored a number of goals at the Under-17 World Cup a few years back, to see what impact it can have. Here's Shamoon. He won through to the final with Iraq in the Under-20 Asian Cup last year. Went down to Uzbekistan. Grimaldi through towards Laval, and the ball has crossed the byline.
Yeah, and the reverse of that, Benny, is a real kidney blow to the development of young Australian players when we don't make those major tournaments. It's absolutely critical for our A-League and for our national teams to have the youth national teams playing at those major tournaments. As we see there, Melbourne City with over 100 more passes, which is aligned to the superior possession they've had.
Suprayon. The boot was rising. I ran him under it though. Now Sutton pressure on Tate Russell. Big pressure coming from Andrew Naboot. And now Dylan Leonard, Western United's youngest ever player, achieved that in round 1 when he came off the bench. Danzaki, some space opening up for Riku Danzaki. Stepping left and right, and now the shot from Bozanovsky is deflected over the crossbar by Suprayon.
Oh, he needs to go and buy a lottery ticket tonight, Suprayon. How many times have we seen those deflections end up in the back of the net? Danzaki with some really clever play on the right-hand side to set up Bozanovsky, who really gets a decent strike away. Nothing that was really going to trouble Beach had it found its way all the way through. Suprayon throws his leg at it, deflects it to safety.
Would have been a first A-League goal for Reece Bozanovsky. First corner for Western United. And Grimaldi puts it straight into the arms of Beach. And a boot, I believe. Yeah, just down for the moment. Maybe a bit of a head clash in there.
Andrew Naboot might have just been using some experience to take the sting out of it. Doesn't look like there's a lot of contact.
He's stronger than that, isn't he, Andrew Naboot?
Built like an ox.
He is. Came back to Australia with victory initially after some time with Urawa in Japan after he played a starring role in the Newcastle Jets revival under Ernie Merrick in the 17-18 season. Didn't play in that grand final though because he'd already departed for the J-League and suffered that injury over there which sort of stalled a bit of progress. He's charging after this one, but Leonard gets there first. Stay inside the line, so it's play on here for Atkinson. Ugarkovic angles it to Tilio. Talbot squeezed it through. Ugarkovic is coming after it. And Matt Sutton, not on the first, but on the second, his desperation to dive on the ball.
Oh, how relieved was he, Sutton, that it was there to dive on the second time. Really brave goalkeeping here. Puts his body on the line and the second time. Almost brilliant. Look at that from Talbot. Picked out Ugarkovic's run. Just didn't quite have the toe to get there. I think he might have just hesitated oh so slightly, Ugarkovic, as to whether the ball was going to arrive or not. In the end, Sutton was favourite. Did what all good goalkeepers do.
And how often do you see it when you watch goalkeeper training? The amount of times they go through that kind of situation. You don't see it often play out in a game, every now and then, and that is why in those moments they're able to nail it, just like Matt Sutton did there.
Yeah, 100% right. Goalkeepers do that day in, day out, hundreds of times of training. All for moments just like that.
He might, well, he apologises because that was not where he intended the clearance to go. It is going to invite a Melbourne City corner. They had the most corners in the league coming into this round. Haven't been able to put one away though. This their first of the evening. So how will the delivery be from the Austrian Andreas Kern on starting debut in the A-League? Bends it around onto the head of Leonard. Now Ugarkovic back into the mix. Spills for Atkinson. And Tilio.
Well, the answer to your question, Benny, is very good. That delivery from Kern, I thought was into a fantastic area. Just lacked a willing runner to really attack it. All the pace and whip and bend on it that you'd expect.
Intelligence there from Thurgate, wasn't it? And his experience from a player that's only 24 years of age. He has got a mountain of experience under his belt.
Yeah, was head on those shoulders. There's no doubt.
So 146th A-League men's match tonight for Thurgate at 24. Just think about if he can stay injury-free, stays in Australia. Not a given, of course. The talent he possesses certainly could head abroad. Suprayon. Oh, pressure again on City here as they look to play it out. And they are going to get a goal kick at the end of that.
Well, they've got away with it, but honestly, this trend I'm seeing where teams are overplaying from the back and at the wrong time, inviting trouble. We saw it on the weekend in the New Zealand derby. Jake Brimmer with a tap in to give Auckland the 3 points. Saw it again last week in the Melbourne derby.
Thurgate, key win in midfield. And Suprayon with the key toe in. Tillia. And couldn't squeeze it through. Leonard. So very transitional the last little period of this game. And Schreiber sliding in. Can't quite get the pass to Talbot initially.
I think Tillio's got a problem here. He went down clutching his hamstring.
Play going on. And Tillio still prone. So will someone kick it out? It's not going to matter because Ben Abraham is going to call play to a halt. And this will be very intriguing to see what happened to Marco Tillio.
Just at the end of his run, just as he released the ball. It's a driving run into midfield, and it's just there. Just he goes to ground, look, grabs his hamstring straight away. That's not a good sign.
Well, this is heartbreaking, and you can see the reaction. So he knows he's done probably a hamstring here, Marco Tillio, and we know the injury issues that he has had recently. Of course, when he went over to Celtic, didn't get a great run, comes back on loan to Melbourne City at the back end of last season. He then had an injury.
Yeah, it's heartbreaking.
And that was a hamstring. That was a hamstring in February earlier this year that kept him out for about 6 weeks, and now it's another problem here. So you can see Mehmedi, I should say, just warming up there. See the man that could be called upon to replace Tillio. Your heart goes out to him. Gee, that's a sad, sad sight.
It really is. All you can do is wish him a speedy recovery and hope it's not too serious. But the frustration, particularly with recurring injuries, those soft tissue recurring injuries are so frustrating.
So Mossy, injuries for Melbourne City at the moment: Caputo leg, Lapane knee, Suleimani calf, Antonio foot, Nikovsky knee, Shillington ankle, Jurakovic hamstring, Jego Bajic suspended. Tillio, hamstring, TBC. That's quite the injury list.
It certainly is. It certainly is, and I'm sure the coaching staff will be doing their investigations as to how many of them can be avoided. And you can't, obviously.
And all of those, on the face of it, soft tissue. It's really sad to see Marco Tillio heading down the tunnel. So here is an A-League debut for Mehdi Mehmedi, the 17-year-old. If he scores tonight, he would be the youngest Melbourne City goal scorer. He would edge out Max Caputo. So what an opportunity for him. The Dandenong Thunder Junior on A-League men's debut. Congratulations to him. And there's a bit of trickery from Ibusuki, bearing down on goal, Hiroshi Ibusuki. And he tried to be too cute in the end, and Patrick Beach was able to control and dive on the ball.
Oh, you're just waiting for him to unleash and rifle the ball into the back of the net. He does oh so well here. to get the nutmeg on Atkinson, and then he drives into the area and then looks like he's trying to cut the ball back. In the end, he just gave Melbourne City too long an opportunity to get legs and bodies back. I thought he had a couple of great opportunities there to just unleash Ibusuki.
Truant, Ugarkovic and Naboot. And Naboot off Thurgate. A corner is coming for Melbourne City. And we saw the danger that Kuhn can present with that left foot in-swinger.
Well, that's great determination from both players. Naboot wasn't going to let it go. Neither was Thurgate. Two great competitors. There goes the signal that they would have practiced on the training pitch all week.
X marks the spot here. This delivery. Oh, and it almost beat Grimaldi at the near post and dribbled towards the 6-yard box. Ugarkovic. And whistle goes here from Ben Abraham. Thurgate's hands go up in the air. There is a free kick for Melbourne City in a decent area.
Well, with the delivery we've seen from Kern, near post, I'm not sure if that was 100% part of the plan, but it almost turned out well as we see the foul, clear foul on Ugarkovic. His first corner is anything to go by. This is a good area for Kern.
He's going to leave it for Talbot. Suprayon free as a bird at the back post. And he very nearly found Naboot.
And the commentator's curse almost got the McGull as well. No sooner, as I said, Kern was going to take it. It's been swung to the back post by Talbot. Really good delivery. And Suprayan knows exactly what he's doing there. It's either going just inside the near post or straight onto the noggin of Andrew Naboot. Neither was the outcome, but that's a big chance for Melbourne City.
Well, you can see shots at goal favouring Melbourne City. They have had some great chances in this first half, but nothing to show for it.
Well, I thought that ball was out. Our assistant referee, Joanna Charatkis, was right on the spot.
Well, you could say she's a little bit closer. Here's the ball floated up.
Forward!
Talbot, Ugarkovic, and now Naboot. Another decent delivery from Talbot, and Kuhn got up. And then the strike came from Ugarkovic.
Yeah, that was a physical challenge in the box, wasn't it? Kern going up for it, ball falling for Ugarkovic. He just couldn't get over the ball enough, but the pressure just starting to build. Melbourne City just tightening the screws a little bit.
It's not often you see Steve Ugarkovic strike with his left foot. It's interesting. That would have been one for the collectors. Truant in a duel with Laval. Flicked on by Talbot, and now Naboot. Here goes Kuhn, cross to Politidis. Ted Russell stood his ground, but the ball spills into midfield for a long-range strike, and Schreiber had it on target, just not the power or the accuracy to trouble Sutton.
He went the safety option here, young Schreiber. Inside of the foot, he was probably never going to get enough purchase or power on it from that distance, using that inside of the foot technique. Really need to get his laces around it. But again, it's another shot on target from Melbourne City. I'll be disappointed they haven't got a lead to show for their superiority in possession and shots on goal and shots on target in particular.
Imai turning it to Sutton. Up the line. And Ibasuki unable to keep that from crossing the sideline.
On the flip side of that, Western United can take heart. They're still level on the scoreboard. Not that they've been second best by a long way. Certainly Melbourne City have had the better of the chances in possession.
Kern deflects into the path of Sutton. Well, it is Melbourne Cup Day tomorrow. Mossy, what are you saying? City by a nose at the moment? Or a head?
Or a furlong.
And that's the issue, isn't it, for City? Because if they don't get that goal, after all the pressure they've had, Western United, they've shown they are good enough to pinch one at the other end. They had a very near moment earlier with Ibasuki. That's well brought down by Politidis. Great opportunity in stoppage time to score his first A-League goal.
Oh, he just couldn't find the composure at the key moment here. That's a wonderful ball over the top and a wonderful first touch to set him up. And then Politidis just couldn't keep his composure. All he had to do was place that past Sutton. It would have given them their deserved lead.
They just love those reactions behind the goal. That's that strike. To be a football fan in that moment, you're just hoping for the net to bulge. Hands to the back of heads. Matt Sutton was breathing a sigh of relief.
I think that's where, for our young local players to go to the next level, it needs to be from those situations, not hoping to bulge the net, but expecting to. Real mindset piece. That's why strikers the world over have paid the big bucks. Make time stand still in those situations.
Russell, lovely pass to Danzaki. Ibasuki was free in the middle of the box, and Riku tried to rip it towards the top corner.
Well, he could well cop a little spray from his teammate in the dressing room at half-time, because he had to. He just had to play that square into the path of Ibasuki or find the top corner. One or the other. But where it did end up is unacceptable.
Sorry, Mossy, mistake there. It wasn't just Ibasuki, it was Grimaldi as well who was free. Two Western United players free in the box, and Danzaki went for the strike at glory. This ball will skip off the turf rather awkwardly for the Western back line. So chances flowing here at the back end of the first up. Now Steve Ugarkovic urged to shoot. Nabutis as well. And that was always rising. Well, what an entertaining finish to this first half. It has come to the boil beautifully, and we still have 45 minutes to go here at Amy Park. Suprayon almost set up a chance for Andrew Nabut during that first half. Nabut, Politidis' chances at the other end, Danzaki and Ibasuki. But the two goalkeepers, they have kept their sheets clean through the first half at Amy Park. Half-time, Western United 0, Melbourne City 0. And we will have all the first half analysis coming right after the break here on Paramount Plus.
and Benty will give you the handheld down channel 2.
The A-League Unite round is just weeks away from Friday the 22nd to Sunday the 24th of November. Sydney will host the A-League Unite.
Hello. Testing 1, 2, 3. This is Ben in studio. Can you hear me?
Got you there, Ben.
Brilliant. Thank you.
Cheers.
12 matches. Tickets are on sale now. Get your tickets at tickettech.com.au.
Reimagine outdoor cooking with the Ninja Wood Fire Outdoor Oven. Unlock high-heat wood fire flavour you can see and taste. Smoke low and slow or crank up the heat with a blistering crunch. From artisan pizzas to smoky wood fire creations. Add authentic wood fire flavours to anything you make. Share the flavours of your world with the Ninja Wood Fire Outdoor Oven. Is school driving you bonkers? Well, salivate with insanity no more, because Smudgy's at your door.
Now a bit of space for Craig Goodwin to advance into and pull the trigger. Oh, what a goal! That's a stunner from Craig Goodwin back in the city where he is still a hero to many. Boss on the overlap, still there. Aidan O'Neill, it's fired into the net by Nishan Valupale to set the seal on the win for Australia.
Welcome to the Hungry Jacks halftime show at Amy Park, and for Melbourne City, they created the better of the opportunities in the first half, but they have lost one of their key attacking weapons. Marco Tilio going down with what is a suspected hamstring issue. Remember, back in February, he missed a period of the last season with that same problem, and now he is heading down the tunnel. And he played no further part in that first half after that injury. So it did provide an A-League debut for Medin Mehmeti, but certainly some headaches for Aurelio Vidmar. Well, let's have a look now at the first half highlights, Phil Moss. And while Melbourne City created most of the chances, they'll be disappointed that it's still 0-0.
Yeah, they certainly will. They had lion's share of possession. They had chances like this. Andrew Naboot. Brilliant reflexes, brilliant instinct. Just the execution let him down oh so slightly, but no fault of his own. A great piece of play, and there's Tilio with that wonderful delivery to the back post area. Politidis going for target. I thought he could have cut that back across the 6-yard box. And here's that chance to Ibasuki, and he ran out of ideas really. If he'd just driven at the goal and put his laces through it, I think he would have been a fair chance of scoring a goal. And then the delivery to the back post, Suprayan planted on his feet. Poor marking from Western United. Puts the ball back across the face of goal. And he could have nestled that in the far corner. Andrew Naboot could have got a touch on it, but it wasn't to be.
Zane Schreiber with that late chance right before half-time. And there was a flurry, wasn't there, before half-time? The game really opened up.
Yeah, that's right. I was hoping and praying that Ben Abraham would forget to blow his half-time whistle, because it was really coming to the boil nicely. And here's that chance for Western United. And they've shown that if you give them a sniff, they can break with purpose and really cause you some problems here. Danzaki just gets that all wrong. He's got Ibasuki. He's got Grimaldi to square the ball to. He does, and he goes himself and he puts it into Rosette. And just on the stroke of half-time, Andrew Naboot lets rip from outside the box.
Well, here are the halftime match stats. Mossy, what stands out to you?
Well, shots on target is an obvious one, isn't it? 2-0 in favour of Melbourne City, but they haven't got a goal to the good. And I think the other thing really is the possession. If they keep that sort of possession at 64, 65% and keep building up those shots on target, then eventually, and they've hit the woodwork, don't forget, eventually that pressure will tell.
Well, one of the best for Melbourne City in that first half, creating lots of opportunities, was one of their men at the back in Samuel Suprayon. He was a big part in that Andrew Naboot opportunity, but also defensively helping keep the back door shut for City.
Yeah, that's right. He brought the ball forward on a couple of occasions like this, when Atkinson took up that inverted fullback position inside, left the space for Suprayan to run into it. You can see it right there. And that started some really good attacks for Melbourne City. And again, moments like that are proof in the pudding that they just couldn't capitalise.
Well, here is the Paramount Plus player index, and it is Suprayon just leading the way from his centre-back partner in Kai Truan. Matt Sutton as well has been good for Western United. Well, let's get now to a very special guest from Western United. Their Director of Football, Steve Horvath, is downstairs for us tonight. Steve, thanks so much for your company. Just tell us, this season, of course, in the last year, you've moved into that base at Tarneit. How crucial is it now having that home base to train out of?
Yeah, it's really exciting. I mean, obviously, it's a turning point for our football club. We hope to play as many games as we can in that facility now that we have it. And it's great for the players to be familiar with where they're training, where they're playing, and our fans to have a home.
G'day, Steve. Phil Moss, great to see you. Just for our viewers at home, we hear this role, Director of Football at all the clubs. What does it actually mean? What are the duties? What you perform for Western United?
Well, it's a wide-ranging role. Obviously, I sit on the board. I've been there right from the beginning, but it's really around the direction and the football direction of the football club. So, obviously, as well as the first team, it's overseeing the academy and those sort of things. Obviously, something I'm really passionate about, delivering opportunities for young players in the west of Melbourne and the west of Victoria. So it's very wide-ranging and obviously just overseeing all of the day-to-day tasks.
Steve, thoughts on the season so far? A couple of draws, strong first half performance there against City.
Yeah, look, I think we've been really good value in our first two games. We've probably ran over the top of both teams in the last 30 minutes. So we've got a young squad. There's only 2 players over the age of 25. But, as most of the teams are going, giving youth an opportunity this season. And it's really exciting to see, young boys like Dylan Leonard, Matthew Grimaldi, Ollie Laval, Abel Wallity, Reece Bozanovsky, all players that have come through our academy and now staking a claim for a first-team spot.
Steve, looking forward to seeing them back out there in the second half. Thanks so much for your company tonight.
Cheers, guys. Thank you.
There's Steve Horvath, the Director of Football at Western United. Now, don't forget, coming up from the 22nd to the 24th of November, the A-League's Unite round. Well, there is an addition this year, the Golden Ticket. So you can enter for your chance to win a VIP A-League Unite round package. Tickets, flights, accommodation. So get involved in that. And that was the Hungry Jacks halftime show. We have got the second half coming up right after the break here at Amy Park. And of course, it is season 20 of the Isuzu UTE A-League. We are reflecting on some of the best moments. Here's one of the very best from Western United in their short spell in the league.
Oh my word! That is extraordinary from Ben Garuccio. A scorpion kick that's going to be replayed for weeks and weeks.
Assistant coach of Western United, Diogo Pereira, joins me. Exciting first half. We just didn't have that final touch on the box.
Look, when you start to roll, it's a bit slow at the start, but you saw by the end of the
what do we expect in the second half? It has been a bit end-to-end. I guess, in certain games this year we've come from behind and found some results, but tonight we're all square. Opportunity to come 3 points.
Yeah, definitely. We spoke about half time. We want to now control the game with the ball, so that's a big focus for us. I'm sure if we do that, then we'll definitely get chances.
Best of luck in the second half, mate. There you go, big second half here at Amy Park. It is West versus East tonight. It's Melbourne Cup Eve. Get behind your boys in green here. Big second half underway. 3 points from the line. Great to have DJ Happy in the house tonight. Thanks for all how was happening. We're all playing the tunes. Great to have that all this season coming behind.
It's Melbourne City's 400th Isuzu UTE A-League match, and they've got a debutant tonight in Medin Mehmeti, the 17-year-old who played his youth football at the Dandenong Thunder. He actually made his senior debut back in 2023 against Metro Stars in the Australia Cup. He's now made his senior debut in the A-League. And he actually has a very interesting history. He scored a hat-trick on academy debut as a 15-year-old. He came off the bench in about the 70th minute, Mossy, and he scored a hat-trick.
Not a bad way to announce yourself.
Not a bad way at all. So you wonder whether he's got something special for us tonight in this second half. Unfortunate way that he came into the game with Marco Tilio suffering what we expect is a hamstring injury, which could rule him out for some time. But no goals in that first half. Western United 2 draws to begin the season. City a win over Newcastle, a loss to Victory last week. So on Melbourne Cup Eve, we are back underway in the second half at Amy Park. Still no closer to knowing who's going to win this one, Mossy. Melbourne City shading the first half, but it's all to play for in the second.
Well, all we can hope for as neutrals is that the second half kicks off like the first half ended, because it was coming to a boil very, very nicely indeed. Melbourne City probably with the better chances. Western United proving, if you give them a sniff, they'll threaten your goal.
You just wonder after that frantic finish to the first half whether both coaches may just rein things in a little bit, have a chat to their players at halftime, because the match was getting a little bit stretched. Politidis, that pass to Mehmeti. So just confirming those lineups. No changes at halftime, but a change midway through that first half. Tilio coming off and Mehmeti on.
Of course, it's nothing against Mehmeti. Marco Tilio, just about everything good Melbourne City did was at the heart of it until he went off. You just know how devastating a player he is with the ball at his feet. His vision, his delivery to the back post for the Politides chance that hit the post.
Another problem here for Naboot. You can hear the Melbourne City bench asking the referee why they haven't got a free kick.
You can see Sharbel Shamoon just collect the back of Andrew Naboot's head.
Pure accident.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, nothing intentional in it. Just
Melbourne City bench were trying to make out that he was not going for the ball, it sounded, but certainly was having a go. Ibasuki got goal side of Truant initially. Didn't quite have the speed, though, to track down the ball, but they have got a throw here, Western United. So they're playing all of their home matches against Victory and City here at Amy Park, and then the rest of those fixtures at Tarneed at Ironbark Fields. Oh, this header, that was very dangerous. Straight across the face of goal.
Yeah, it's a massive development for the club to have a home so they can build a culture and a history. Great to hear from Steve Horvat at half-time. All the young kids that are being brought through, developed through the academy.
And that's one of the fantastic aspects of this season. So many young players getting an opportunity in the Isuzu UTE League this season. Western have been a side traditionally over the recent history that have played more experienced players. Here's a break here for Kern. But many on the inside, so too Naboot. And it's Andrew Naboot who scores in back-to-back matches for Melbourne City. He's knocking it out of the park at the moment in some fine form. And City get a well-deserved goal here.
Fantastic counter-attack, and it's one in midfield on the Harvey Norman replay by the goal scorer, Andrew Naboot. Ball's played wide to Mehmeti, who does brilliantly to put the ball on a platter for his captain. It's Kern, in fact, in the wide area, who squares it for Andrew Naboot. Mehmeti played the ball wide to Kern, and they finally found the killer pass and the final touch to take the lead on the scoreboard. And showing he's not just a goal scorer, but also a cricketer and a golfer. Andrew Naboot, is there anything he can't do?
I'll send him over to the MCG tonight. He's got some business first here at Amy Park. And it's great to see him back playing some wonderful football after that Achilles injury robbed him of the start of last season, threatened to rob him of the entire season. He made a miraculous comeback, broke the goal-scoring drought, and now he's got 2 in 2. And he's down here. Shamoon, Bozanovsky looking for the instant reply here. Now Tate Russell, deflection, a little awkward, but Beach, his height, a massive advantage. And he's back on the floor again here, Naboot.
He looks like he's in some pain. But gee, he did brilliantly to win that ball in midfield because he was second favourite, really. Just don't know if he's potentially rolled an ankle as he goes through there, or just treads on the boot of Shamoon.
Well, I don't need to go through the Melbourne City injury list again, do I, Mossy? I don't think we've got enough space on the screen with graphics if we were to put it all up, because I've got 10 players unavailable tonight, 2 suspended, so 8 injured, and that's if you add Tilio to that list. They don't want to make it 11, and Andrew Naboot walking off as well, injured.
He certainly still looks in fair bit of discomfort. It's like the right knee is what they're checking out. So as he comes across, ooh, I think as he plants his right foot, his studs get caught in the grass. And his right knee just looked like it, dare I say, popped slightly.
You can see the look on his face.
Yeah, that did not look good.
And I just mentioned after he scored that goal, Mossy, so remember at the start of last season, he was expected to be missing the entire of last season with an Achilles injury. Came back after 10 weeks. And now he's got full pre-season under his belt. He scored goals in back-to-back weeks. And he's being forced off here with what looks to be a knee injury.
Well, the only thing I'll say is there's the tackle in midfield that he does so well to start the attack that ended with his goal. So it didn't happen there. So there was nothing wrong with his celebration. What's that challenge on Shamoon, I should say, where I just think as he plants his right foot, his studs just get caught. You can just see his knee tweak.
So remember the injury. So in Japan, did that knee injury. At the World Cup, he did the shoulder dislocation. Achilles last year. Another player who doesn't deserve this at all. No player does, but especially a player that has been injured at key moments throughout his career, just when he's hitting great form. Another sad sight tonight. So Tilio and now Naboot to add to the injury list for Melbourne City. So it's now 9 injured, 11 unavailable at the moment right now. So Cohen is on, the Israeli international, who was dropped to the bench for this one because he was battling a bout of illness during the week. It was his strike at goal which set up Naboot's goal last week against Melbourne victory, following through. So that's just taken the air out for Melbourne City at the moment. They are going to win a free kick.
It's a pretty straightforward decision for referee Ben Abraham. But your heart goes out to Andrew Naboot. It didn't look good as he was helped down the tunnel. He couldn't put any weight on his right leg. The only thing, looking at straws here, but it looked like the damage might be on the inside of the knee, not the outside. But of course, we'll have to wait for scans to confirm it.
Yeah, well, we're not going to rule him out for the season yet, but what we can say is it's not great when you're helped from the field by a couple of trainers and go down the tunnel, just as Marco Tilio did as well. So we'll await further confirmation from City. But we know they've got plenty of talented youngsters who can step up to the plate. And here's one of them, Mehmeti, looking for an option. Oh no, there's another player down here. What is going on tonight?
Well, that to me looked like a contact.
It's Tate Russell. So Beach's chip. Allowed to run on by Cohen for Ugarkovic. Leonard cuts it off. So we'll just have a look, Mossy, and see this incident here involving Russell. Just a bit of an ankle roll.
Yeah. Got his foot stuck in the challenge. A little tweak to the knee or the ankle. He looks to be moving okay.
So how are you seeing Melbourne City rejigging after those injuries to Tilio and Naboot? It looks as though Mehmeti potentially may play more centrally.
Yeah, that's right. And I think we saw that with the goal as well. Kern taking up a slightly wider position, Mehmeti in the middle. The most important thing is their mindset. To see Marco Tilio and Andrew Naboot both help from the field in the game, they need to stay strong mentally if they're to go on and win this game.
Kern didn't quite get to Cohen. So the Austrian and the Israeli, new recruits for Aurelio Vidmar's side this year. And Talbot has it taken off him by Thurgate. He is spinning on the turf as Western look to break forward.
Well, that was a solid challenge. At first glance, I thought it was fair. This was also judged by Ben Abraham. Not taking anything away from the physicality of it.
Kern has Mehmeti there. Mehmeti on debut. Well, there's just something special about this kid, Mossy. As I said, a hat-trick off the bench on academy debut, almost a goal here on debut.
Well, he just gets between the two defenders, doesn't he? He rides the shoulder. His first touch in a tight area is very good. You know what he's trying to do with his second. Let's just get a little bit of topspin on a volley. Doesn't quite get the connection, but a good sign nonetheless.
You spoke in the first half, Mossy, about a player believing they'll score as opposed to hoping they'll score. You feel like he's one of them at 17 years of age. He just believes that something's going to happen when he gets those opportunities in the box. He's looking so dangerous.
Yeah, I like the way he held his ground there in between the two defenders. He didn't try and make a run in behind. He just held his ground, waited for the ball to be played into him, and I thought in a tight area, a fair bit of pace behind the pass. His first touch was pretty good.
As I mentioned earlier, he would become Melbourne City's youngest A-League men's goal scorer. If he finds the back of the net tonight, edging out Max Caputo, Shamoon, Grimaldi. And Grimaldi tried to hook it towards the top corner. Wouldn't sit down for him, though.
Well, I think if he was going to do that, he should have done it on the first attempt. Once he stepped over the ball, it was in a good area for him to let rip. But by the time he does that, his body shape is all wrong. It's going to be very, very difficult for him to keep the ball down. Because Suki was none too pleased either.
So the final half hour of regulation time upon us. You heard Steve Horvat in the halftime show talking about this period of the game for Western United. Last week against Western Sydney Wanderers and against Wellington the week before, they really came home with a wet sail. The team filled to the brim with youngsters. You can already see possession in this second half favouring the home side. And here comes Noah Botic and Abel Wallity. So Ollie Laval comes off as well. So Noah Botic, he's had that injury issue with that foot stress fracture which ended last season early, just as he was starting to find his goal scoring form. He's worked his way back to full fitness through the pre-season and now off the bench for the third week in a row. So too Wallity. And here he is, Wallity. Linking with Russell, who plowed it straight into Atkinson, Schreiber. Quality has a fascinating story. Actually spent some time in Denmark back in 2023. Played in the Danish Cup as Angus Thurgate is going to earn Western a free kick and a yellow card handed the way of Nathaniel Atkinson.
No, I think you'll find it Schreiber for this cynical foul on Angus Thurgate.
Sorry, Mossy. Yep, bang on. Schreiber into the book. He was exiting stage left there.
It wasn't me, it was him. It's a very purposeful run from Thurgate, though, that drew the foul. He's giving his side a free kick in a very good area. Is this the moment of quality they've been waiting for?
So Wallity, not his best dead ball delivery / attempted goal. Quite sure what he was looking for there, whether that was his intention.
Well, I had the line all ready to go, a moment of quality from Wallity, but it didn't arrive. And they're the moments John Aloisi is so frustrated with, because they're working so hard to get themselves back in the game. Western United, opportunities like that, you've got to make them count.
So that club he played for in Denmark, Quality Academics Bold Club, and he played a couple of matches in the Danish Cup. Came back to Australia with Western United after playing his youth football with Green Gully. Ibasuki. Wallity. Won't miss him with those fluoro yellow boots. And all of a sudden, just looking a little bit more confident, Western United. Shamoon. Thurgate. Wallity. Went without it, Bozanowski.
Yeah, it's a shame it broke down for Western United there. You can see Angus Thurgate, and this comes from the training pitch. Players in pockets, players receiving the ball, knowing exactly where the next pass is. The ball from Angus Thurgate into the opposite pocket for Wallity. Was so close to setting them on their way.
So 2 matches for Western United this season. Both they were down 1-0. Both they came back and scored an equaliser to finish 1-1. Is history going to repeat here at Amy Park? Melbourne City had a 1-0 win over Newcastle on the opening weekend, and then a 3-1 defeat in the derby last week. Wallity takes on Atkinson. He took a bit of his shirt, did Nathaniel Atkinson initially. And Wallity continues to take on Atkinson. This time he will get a yellow ticket.
Well, you could put probably 3 or 4 fingers up there, referee Ben Abraham, because Nathaniel Atkinson had Wallity by the shirt 3 or 4 times in that tussle. Wallity did well to use his strength. He probably would have liked the free kick in the first instance rather than this one. It's a much easier situation for Melbourne City to defend, I think.
So a bit tighter angle this for Wallity. So drops it back for Bozanowski, clips it towards the box. Heading on a great one from Talbot. Now Shamoon hits the stanchion.
Well, it was the second or third phase really from the set piece but a decent strike nonetheless. You can see the technique. He's just trying to get the ball to go up and down. Almost very well executed from Shamoon.
Sorry, it was the camera. I was wondering where that thud came from. It was straight into the camera from Charbel Shamoon.
I believe that's coming out of your paycheck.
But you can see Melbourne City in their second half just struggling to create chances since the goal to Andrew Naboot, and they're piling up for Western United. Wallity bearing down on goal. And Russell, was there a handball? Botic turning. Danzaki drives. But the big question, was there a handball from Melbourne City in the lead-up?
Well, again, some wonderful build-up play from Western United. And there's that reverse pass I'm talking about again to find Wallity. I think that is a handball, but I think it might be just outside the box. Oh, my goodness. We're going to need a slide rule here. We've got Casey Rybelt in the VAR tonight. I think there's no...
Well, I can read Ben Abraham's lips, and if you're watching at home, you probably can as well. He said the hands are in a natural position.
Yeah, you'd have to say I can agree with that. I mean, look...
Let's not go further into the handball intricacies.
Let's not. But I would rather see the benefit of the doubt given in that situation than not. Because how many times have we seen it and had the argument about what's natural, what's not?
I agree with you, Mossy.
Play on. Well refereed, Ben Abraham. Well done, Casey Rybelt.
But what it is an indication of is just the pressure that Western United are putting Melbourne City under at the moment. And there is still more than 20 minutes plus stoppage time remaining in this game. There is a long, long way to go for Melbourne City to eke out this result.
Yeah, it's moments like that that you can see the effect of the press from Western United. They're pressing high with intensity, and it forces those errors. Melbourne City try and play out. You can see there the last 5 shots. Western United are coming.
Iwasuki, well, every statistic that our stats department are sticking on screen, Mossy, they are telling the story of this game and how Western United are slowly pulling their way back. They just haven't quite done so on the scoreboard yet. Goes down too easily according to Abraham, and Iwasuki. Wallity. Thurgate on the outside. Drifted into space. Shut down by Atkinson. Bozanovski chasing this one. Patrick Beach had to be quick up and off his line.
I think it was the wrong option. They didn't have enough real estate to play that pass. They had the ball on that side for about 5 or 6 passes. The space, and you can see Danzaki with his arms in the air. The space was on the other side.
This will be a free kick. Thurgate giving it away. You can sense Aurelio Vidmar on the sideline. He is just feeling the tension at the moment. Wants them to lift Melbourne City.
Yeah, they need to. You sense they need to put another nail in the coffin. Gee, I wonder if Thurgate and Ugarkovic used to room together when they were at Newcastle. Benny.
I would say that they'd be fairly close from their time at Newcastle. Thurgate was just coming through in that period where the Jets made the grand final, but of course was a regular with Ugarkovic in the midfield in the years to follow.
Say that, of course, slightly tongue-in-cheek. They've had a few comings together tonight. 2 great competitors on opposite teams now.
Almost had it taken away by Bozanovski. Take Russell in a duel now with Politidis. So City have won the last 2 meetings between these two sides, looking for 3 straight. It was 1-0 the win for City back in April. It was McLaren who scored the match winner on that occasion. Wallity. Space ahead of him, and he has pace, and Atkinson has to be careful. Now Botic around the corner. Tight angle for Danzaki. He draws it back. Iwasuki on the first, and on the second, Suprayon initially away, and then Atkinson just puts his boot through it.
Well, if that had ended up in the back of the net, there would have been an outcry for the challenge on Zane Stryber. I thought he had a good argument for a foul at the other end of the pitch. Melbourne City dodge a bullet.
10 clearances in this second half for Melbourne City. Just 1 for Western United. But as we were talking about in the first half, Mossy, you've got to make most of your opportunities, and they're going to have to find a clinical moment. Western.
Here's that replay. I think that's a foul. I really do. He collects Stryber's knee, brings him to ground unfairly. Here's the moment where Western just couldn't capitalise.
We heard in the off-season John Moss, who's now the referee's boss, saying that he wants a bit more physicality in the A-League men's this season. Is that an example of it there? Or do you think that went too far?
I think it was a foul. You know, I'm all for a bit more physicality and letting the game flow, but a foul's a foul. And if Western United had gone away and scored from that situation, Melbourne City, quite rightly, I think, would have been aggrieved. Got off the sideline microphone.
Apologies for that. Sneaking through. So Seb Pasquale is getting readied by the Western United bench. It would seem that he's going to replace Reece Bozanovski. So Bozanovski came in to start tonight for Pasquale, who started the first 2 for Western. Atkinson, lovely ball to Mehmeti, earns a corner. So some respite here for Melbourne City. Big moment for them. If they can grab a second with 15 to go, that could be like gold.
Well, that's a good little turn of speed from Mehmeti. Again, just off the shoulder. Good ball from Nathaniel Atkinson. Good way to pass. This would be a sucker punch for Western United if Melbourne City can find the back of the net from this set piece.
So Kuhn hanging it up, Thurgate driving through the box to safety for the moment for the green and black. Kern. Politidis. And they're going to earn a free kick here, and a yellow card goes the way of Wallity, and that's the first passage in a while, Mossy, that Melbourne City have been able to retain possession for a good spell, and it brought a nibble from Wallity and a yellow card his way.
Yeah, just slightly late. I don't think there was any real ill intent there. Just poorly timed.
So Seb Pasquale, who I mentioned before, Did start the first 2 games for Western, comes off the bench here. They do have to be careful with him because between 2019 and 2023, just those 21 matches across 4 seasons because of a hip injury. The former Ajax youth player. And now Zane Schreiber, who made his A-League men's starting debut tonight. He's going to be replaced. And on comes Matt Leckie. What a welcome return for Melbourne City. That is a sight for sore eyes after what they've witnessed tonight. Naboot and Tilio injured, but Leckie returns. And here is a debut for Ben Dunbar. He's been with the City Academy since he was 12. Made his senior debut against Perth in the Australia Cup. Welcome to the A-League, Ben Dunbar. Just 18 years of age. Here's the curler towards the head of Truan. Oh, here's a goal potentially for Politidis. What an opportunity, just like in the first half. And he very nearly opened his account in the Isuzu UTE A-League.
Well, the key there was that he attacked the ball. The defender was caught flat-footed. Politidis just couldn't quite get it on target.
Talbot and Leckie. Ben Dunbar tries to nod it through past Leonard. The 17 and the 18-year-old. What a little battle we're going to witness over the next 11 or so minutes.
Isn't it just great to see Matt Leckie back on the pitch? His fair share of injuries since the World Cup in 2022. Where he made himself a household name. Wonderful goal against Denmark.
Yeah, you can watch that goal over and over again, can't you? It never gets old.
He's lucky enough to be in the stadium to see it live. It's a remarkable experience.
Makes us feel a bit bad, Mossy. Only got to see it on the TV screens. That would have been absolutely incredible. Well, can he try and help see this game out for Melbourne City? Wallety is already on a yellow card. Being told to cool his jets here by Ben Abraham.
I think that's good refereeing from Ben Abraham. Keeps his cool. It's not worth a yellow card that would result in an early shower. They do need cool heads in this situation. Western United and Melbourne City, of course, defending that lead.
So final 10 minutes. Oh no! Wow, that was almost a disaster for Sutton. Oh, his heart would have been in his mouth. It was the same end that Beach had the disaster last week in the derby. And Mossy, young keepers getting an opportunity this year, but having a few nervy moments at times. It's making things entertaining though.
Yeah, it certainly is. You don't want a young keeper to have to deal with big mistakes like that. Because it's not just the criticism they'll get in the mainstream media, it's the social media. And look, all you got to do is take your eye off the ball for one split second and it all can come unravelling.
He was pretty calm though, wasn't he, Sutton?
I think he knew he had it covered. Still, puts the nerves on notice, doesn't it?
24-year-old who began his A-League men's career with Melbourne City. Juniors in Sydney with the Berries in Lillipilly. Supre on important intervention. And Leckie immediately spied himself on the outside of Thurgate, who comes back and gives away the free kick, Angus Thurgate. Now, I'm reliably informed, Mossy, Angus Thurgate and Steve Ugarkovic, they used to live in the same house in Newcastle by your mate, Nikolai Topor Stanley. I'm pretty sure Nikolai lived pretty close to them as well. So, yeah, they were all pretty tight, those boys, from their time at the Jets.
Your research knows no bounds, Ben Homer, or your contacts, one or the other.
Oh, I just remember driving home one night and they were kicking the football over my car. As Leonard tries to take on Talbot. So can City seal it, or can Western do what they've done throughout the season so far? A couple of years ago it was the 1-0 Western United brigade. Well, this season it could be the 1-all Western United. Leonard gets it away from danger. Beyond his years, Leonard, 17-year-old, marshalling the defence for Western United. Slotted in so seamlessly alongside Imai there at centre-back. Here comes the pressure from Danzaki. Beach sends it out towards Atkinson, who slipped. It would have been a Western throw if Russell had have left it. Instead, it's Melbourne City. They're happy to waste a few more seconds.
Well, the clock just starting to work against Western United now. They used to stick to their processes, not try and force things too much if they are to get at least an equaliser. Melbourne City, of course, need to manage the game.
Are you sensing a bit of late drama here on Cup Eve, Mossy? You feeling it?
I am. I still think there's a good energy. It's got a little bit scrappy the last probably 10 or 15 minutes, but there's still enough energy out there for me. There's another goal in this.
Oh, we've had some late goals across the weekend. This period of the match brings tension, brings nerves. There is the Paramount Plus player index. Melbourne City dominating it. Probably a little unfortunate there's not at least one Western United player on that list. Andrew Naboot, who scored the goal, went off injured. Marco Tilio as well, off injured for Melbourne City. Some key stories out of this game.
Yeah, I think Angus Thurgate laid claim to being on in that top 5. Ibasuki, I think he's been good for Western tonight.
Sharmoon getting on the outside of Talbot as the Seagulls scatter. Sharmoon taking on a couple, and referee saying he tripped over himself amid the swarm of City blue.
Good decision.
Now, Ben Abraham's running across here. Now, who is this going to? Is this going to John Aloisi, or is it a member of the Western United bench? It's hard to work out. He's not a coach that often goes into the book John Aloisi. Is he frustrated by the time wasting from Melbourne City? Could that be it?
Oh, look, I'm sure that's part.
The free kick, he obviously thought there was a free kick for Shamoon there, but there has been a little bit of time wasting, which you sense may just be causing his blood to boil.
Yeah, that, but also profligacy, I guess, of his own side. They've had opportunities tonight to find the back of that. They haven't done that. It'd certainly be adding to the frustration of the Western United boss.
Shamoon, Ibasuki, Leonard, picked off by Atkinson. Had a really good patch, Western United, midway through this second half, but in the last 10 minutes it has been like that for Western United. Frustrating.
The picture tells 1,000 words, hey?
Pasquale. Leonard, does he have an option? He's looking for someone in green and black. He has to go long. Cyprian cuts it out. It will be a throw here for Western. A slight opening for them.
He's been good tonight, Cyprian. A real leader's performance at the back. Could have, maybe should have, found himself on the score sheet in the first half with that header.
Botic, Danzaki, Atkinson's clearance, only as far as Pasquale. Now Thurgate chiming in. Thurgate taking them on. Couldn't get it past Cohen. A little slip from Kern. And Thurgate goes in and gives away the free kick.
The slips there. Kern gives Thurgate the chance to turn it into a challenge. Free kick's a decision. Melbourne City will be looking to soak up every second they can now. Going into protection mode rather than looking for the second goal.
Well, John Aloisi is still furious, and that certainly indicates his annoyance with Melbourne City just sucking more time off the clock.
Look, I think the frustration really comes from within, and that is that people know Western United have done enough to get something out of this game tonight. If it stays the way it is, they'll go home empty-handed. Just like that final touch, the final pass, the final decision.
So 5 minutes for Western United to pull something out of the fire. They've got a corner here. This game is not over by any stretch. Just because Western United have struggled to create any chances of note over the last 10 to 15 minutes doesn't mean they're dead and buried. It only takes one moment. Wallity, back post. Botic was there, so too was Ibasuki. And Botic was in a great position.
Well, that is why you bring a player of Matt Leckie's experience onto the pitch. The way he used his body then to protect the ball as it flew to the back post and then clear the danger. First class.
Shamoon screaming out for it on this left flank. The slip from Danzaki did for him and Shamoon, and now Western spring forward through Ben Dunbar, the 18-year-old Cohen. And now a slip from Leckie. Ibasuki saw it as an opportunity. Leckie's somehow flicked it off the turf. Wallity around the outside. He glided away from Politidis, and Atkinson said, well, safety first.
Well, not for the first time we've seen players end up on their backside. It surfaced tonight, of course. It was was the incident with Andrew Nabbout. I'm not suggesting it's all down to the surface, but it does look a bit slippery underfoot.
Danzaki. Albert taking no chances. Danzaki nudged it. Spilled almost for Wality, and Steve Ugarkovic. How often in those kind of moments does he come up big for his side? Those 1%ers. Shamoon urged to shoot, just shut off by Leckie. Wality nodded away by Truant. Pasquale heading it. He will win it back for Western. Danzaki scuffs it with the left. A bit chaotic the last few minutes. Nerves jangling for City. Can they break forward here? Kern. Over the head of Politidis, but it's just too quick and it skids over the sideline. So less than 2 minutes minimum for Western United. They've got a free kick.
I know the scoreline is only 1-0, but Monday Night Football hasn't let us down. It's been a game with plenty of chances, end-to-end football, good intensity. Can this be the moment for Western United?
Driven in. Ibasuki up. It will roll away for Shamoon. Has Danzaki. Back to Shamoon. Drives it across. Ibasuki couldn't keep the header down.
Well, he connected with this on the rise, and Noah Bodic is right behind him, ready to attack that ball. I'm not suggesting for a moment that a striker will let that run in that area, but Noah Bodic was certainly better placed. And that could be it for Western United. They've huffed and they've puffed, but it looks as though they're going to fail to blow the Melbourne City house down.
Wality. It's still there for him. It's a free kick for Western. It could be all on this for the green and black. Sam Pasquale trying to pitch a couple more metres. So in the battle of the west and east of Melbourne, it all comes down to this moment for Western United to try and pinch a point. Pasquale stands over it and floats it over the top. And after derby disappointment, Melbourne City celebrate their 400th A-League men's match in style with 3 competition points and a 1-0 victory over their local rivals. Unfortunately for Western United, the wait will go on for John Aloisi and his side to claim their first win of the season. Draws in the first 2 weeks, a loss in round 3. They head to Adelaide next week in search of their first win. Melbourne City travel away to Perth, but they will most likely be without Marco Tilio and Andrew Nabbout, who both left the field injured. Nabbout after he scored the match winner. It finishes at Amy Park. Western United 0, Melbourne City 1. And Phil Moss, that will be satisfying for Aurelio Vidmar. Another clean sheet, 2 in their first 3 after that derby defeat last week.
Yeah, just as frustrating as it will be for John Aloisi. But certainly Aurelio Vidmar would have been looking for a bounce back, a reaction to that first half in particular last week. And the game was done and dusted in the first half, let's be honest, in that derby. And he got it tonight. They weren't overly dominant for the whole 90 minutes, but I thought they were very good in the first half. And then I thought Western really asked some questions in the second.
So Patrick Beach, second matching goal for him as well. Another clean sheet. That's a pretty good start to his goalkeeping career in this competition, justifying his decision to get that #1 goalkeeping jumper off Jamie Young. Just catching up with some old friends. Those two, of course, duelled it out for the gloves in Brisbane back in the day, Michael Theo and Jamie Young. So Aurelio Vidmar catching up there with Kane Vidmar as we have a look at the Alex Tobin medal tonight. So Samuel Suprayon with the 3 points. Callum Talbot gets a couple for Melbourne City, and Angus Thurgate one for all his industry in midfield tonight for Western United. And let's now get to the player of the match tonight, Samuel Suprayon. Bonjour, Samuel.
Bonjour.
Just tell us how important those 3 points were tonight after the defeat last week in the derby.
Yeah, he's good 3 points tonight. We should work today because last week was lost for us, and was important to win today. Was a tough game, but we put the good aggressiveness, attitude, behavior, and in the end we win 3 points. That's good.
And Samuel, as a senior player out there, you see a Marco Tilio helped off, you see an Andrew Naboot helped off. What role did you play with the players around you just to keep their heads strong, the mental side of it?
Yeah, this is mentally when we see Tilio out and Andy Naboot, 2 big players for us. But we have a good substitution, good player, and we keep strong until the end, and that's good for today.
Samuel, you've played in some massive leagues around the world, the likes of Italy, France, of course. Just tell us the differences between those leagues and here in Australia.
Yeah, in Australia, is, the game is physically. We have also the good player, good tactic, good technique, but aspect physically is strong.
Samuel, congratulations tonight. Merci, thank you for the chat, and good luck next week.
Thank you, bye.
There is Samuel Suprayon, who started for Melbourne City tonight, helping them keep a clean sheet. Phil Moss and myself will be back right after the break to wrap this one up.
weekly kickoff every Wednesday. All your Socceroos, Matildas and A-League action.
That's over the line, and Auckland are going to win it.
Oh, it ain't crazy. Plus all the best bits from the beautiful game from all around the globe.
Cooney Cross is going to shoot from distance. Incredible!
That's the weekly kickoff every Wednesday on 10 Bold and Paramount Plus.
Well, welcome back to Amy Park, where it's Melbourne City who are celebrating a win in A-League men's match number 400 in Patrick Beach. Well, life's a beach in the A-League, isn't it, Mossy, for Patrick? He's got 2 clean sheets in his first 3 matches. He is absolutely loving life. And so too is his coach, Aurelio Vidmar, who joins us. Aurelio, thank you so much for your company. First, we've got to start with the injuries. Really sad to see Tilio and Naboot leave the field like that. Do you know how severe those injuries are?
Evening, guys. I think Tilio's obviously looks like a hamstring, and Andy looks like a knee, but the severity of it, we're not sure at this point.
Yeah, devastating to see them helped off, Viddy, but congratulations on the win tonight. What was the focus during the week post the derby, and did you see it executed tonight?
I thought we were exceptional tonight. Obviously, we had a terrible first half last week, but had a more like Melbourne City type of game in the second half, and that just continued tonight. I didn't think our focus was any different than last week than it was this week. We just weren't first to the ball last week, and tonight it was complete opposite. We were concentrated, we were alert, our defensive organisation was excellent. We're a little bit rusty in the front third in the first half, although we had a number of shots, not many on target. And then we certainly got the right reward for us in the second half with the goal from Andy.
Yeah, and I was going to point to that as too, Viddy, because the mindset, when you see a Tilio helped off, you see a Naboot helped off, 2 of your key players, the mindset out there and the role the senior leaders took, the Suprans, you must be pleased with that.
Yeah, well, our concentration didn't waver. You lose a couple of big players like that, but the concentration levels, the leadership was first class tonight, and we thoroughly deserved the win tonight.
Aurelio, so many young players impressing this season, but I just want to touch on Zane Schreiber. He made his starting debut tonight. You obviously thrust him in there last week in the second half, really impressed. Just tell me what you're loving about his work.
Oh, look, he's a young player who's learning the game, and to be honest, most of the pre-season, because of the numbers, we've been putting him as an attacking midfielder. So he's done a lot of work in the attacking areas and not so much as a 6. So tonight we chucked him in there. He does that naturally anyway, but he hasn't had much time in there throughout the pre-season and our friendly games. But he stepped up. He stepped up tonight. He's calm. He's got a good touch. He's got good vision. Of course, he's only just learning the game, and we think he's still got a bright future. And it was nice for him to get a little bit of confidence as well.
Aurelio, thank you so much for your time, and congratulations on the win.
Okay, thank you, guys.
Victorious Melbourne City coach there, Aurelio Vidmar. Mossy, as we look now at the Harvey Norman highlights of this one, and the decisive moment was that goal from Andrew Naboot.
Yeah, that's right. He did so well to win the ball in midfield. The ball was played wide to Kern, and then he just put it on a platter for his captain, and Naboot did the rest, and he deserved that goal, and he's clearly got a great golf swing about him as well. But Mehmeti played a key role in that as well. He stayed calm, played a nice ball into the path of Kern, and he did the rest for Naboot, as we said before. But look at that. That is a will to win in midfield from a striker to win a ball like that when he was second favourite to win the challenge, and it resulted in a goal. So he didn't just win the challenge, he finished it off as well.
And great involvement from the Austrian. That'll give him a lot of confidence in his first season down under, his first start as well for Melbourne City, helping them get the win. And you can see it really evened up in the second half. Western United actually edging the XG. That period probably in the middle of the second half where they had lots of chances, but they couldn't take advantage of it.
Yeah, and I dare say Johnny Aloisi will be so frustrated. I mean, we saw it starting to boil over towards the end of the game, but the statistics say they did enough to maybe get something out of the game, but I concur with what Viddy said. They deserved the win tonight. They really wanted it, maybe a touch more than Western United, and they got the 3 points.
Alrighty, well, let's have a look at the Paramount Plus Player Index. And no surprises here that Andrew Naboot, top of the pops, the goal scorer, the difference in this game. But you can see Suprayon and Truan leading the way. But what about the 17-year-old as well, Dylan Leonard, who's slotted in there for Western United?
Yeah, he did seamlessly, didn't he? He really caught the eye after coming off the bench, and he did very well for his side, albeit on a losing side tonight.
Well, let's have a look at our next level ninja and their involvement tonight, Phil Moss. And it's sad to say that this may be the final time we see Andrew Naboot in a while after that injury in the second half, but let's enjoy his best moments.
Yeah, he was central to it. Tilio was central to it in that first half, the early stages of the game, and there's that challenge once again. And as I said, strikers aren't known for the tough stuff in midfield, but he certainly put his hand up there to win the ball and then finish it off and give his side that crucial go-ahead goal that proved to be the winner.